All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner, Giants Nation, and we've got some news to react to. Some positive, some negative. The Giants placed offensive tackle Andrew Thomas and Eric Gray on the PUP list. They signed safety K'Von Wallace, and they made other moves. Training camp is back, baby. And so is Ceiling fans. This is my Airbnb. I'm up in New Jersey, going to be at all the training camp practices, and these Ceiling fans are going to cut my head off. Maybe I'll get demonetized for saying that. But like and subscribe. We are the #1 place for Giants content, and you'll see that if you do it. Test it. Just test it out. But let's get into the news with Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas goes on PUP list. That's the biggest news of the day because he's one of, if not the most important players on the roster. And let me go quick on what the PUP list is. It is physically unable to perform. So he can come off this list at any time. There has been players. Daniel Bellinger in 2022 was on it for one day, and then he was out at practice. So all of training camp, he can come back at any time. Once they have to cut down the 53 man rosters, they either can activate him from that or they can keep him on the PUP list, but he has to stay on there until week 9. That's not going to happen with Andrew Thomas. But let's talk about Thomas and injuries. Like I'm working on notes for his player profile episode. His QBs and his offenses have been two totally different things with and without him. You know, he's coming off that Liz Frank injury, which is no joke at all, which ended his season and made him miss 11 games last year, which is the reason why he's on the PUP list to start training camp. He's missed games in 3 of the last 4 seasons with 22 games missed out of a possible 68. We're not talking about a new injury here, but you really need to get him healthy for this team. You know, and again, I don't want to alarm people. They're going to see Andrew Thomas PUP list. This guy is injured again. No, it's the same exact thing that he got injured with last year. He's just still coming back from that. But I'm pretty confident he's going to be ready for week 1. And that's what's important with a guy like Andrew Thomas. But the Giants averaged 2.5 points per game more with him the last couple of years. And you go back and look at sack and interception rates, those go way up without him being that blindside protector for the quarterback. And in that 2.5 points per game thing doesn't sound like a lot. And it's really not that major, even though it is a big difference. It would pick the Giants up in some rankings. But that includes the Colts game last year and the 2023 Cardinals game, which he wasn't a part of those. So including those, like, you know, if you remove those, which you can't, like that gap would be even wider. But he's an all-pro player, not just by my opinion. He has been literally made the all-pro team. His only season fully healthy outside of his rookie year, he made all-pro. And this team relies on him. So hopefully he's back out there sooner than later because we need him ready for the season. Again, we don't need him ready week 1 for training camp. We need him ready for the season. But I go back and look at the PUP list every year when it comes out. I look at the previous year and see how long those guys lasted on it. The last 2 years, everyone's came back from outside of one guy. Theo Johnson, 5 days. Sterling Shepard, 5 days. So those guys didn't even have to miss a week of camp. Ashawn Robinson and Marcus McKeithen, 13 days. So 2 weeks of camp. Evan Neal last year, 19 days. You know, he played in that 3rd preseason game. DJ Davidson, 20 days. Wan'Dale Robinson, 34 days. Now, he was activated in practicing, but they didn't have him active the first 2 weeks of the season. You know, took it slow with him with Paris Campbell being on the roster. And then Aaron Robinson was on PUP both years. He never came off ever. In fact, I think he still lives on PUP Street. But so Thomas will be ready to go week 1. You know, he threw out the first pitch at a Yankees game a couple weeks ago. But the important thing for Thomas is not, again, coming back ready for week 2 of training camp. It's not re-injuring this. So there is not this big need to rush him into non-padded practices against Abdul Carter and K'Von and Brian Burns looking to, you know, get wins or, you know, stepping on whatever. But you do need him to get in practice eventually. He's got to master the playbook, you know, 4th year in the offense. But you got to go out there and get game action. You got to get tested. You can't just run out there week 1 raw at tackle. It's just a different animal. So I'd like to see him play. Even in preseason game, get, you know, 1 drive or something just to get, you know, his feet wet, see live action a little bit. But Giants needed him, right? Again, they are just 2 different teams with and without him. The numbers say that. Our eye test says that. It is. We talk about it all offseason. Thomas being healthy, how important that is for the New York Giants. He's my favorite player to watch. But let's have a fully healthy season coming off the Liz Frank, right? I don't want to do conversations next year about what they do with Andrew Thomas because if he's not healthy, he's not helping the team. but need Andrew Thomas healthy. The Giants also placed running back Eric Gray on the PUP list. He was active for all 17 games last year. So guessing this is something that happened in OTAs because he'd be placed on the NFI non-football injury list if that happened in his own time, similar to Victor Dimukeji, who they signed from the Cardinals, who tore his pec in the beginning of May. He's on the NFI list because it didn't happen on Giants time. Eric Gray was always the odd man out in this running back group of Tyrone Tracy, Cam Scatterbo, and Devin Singletary. So he needed someone else to get injured in camp to really make the roster. I don't think he was going to be able to make it on his own merit. But his fumbles and lack of blocking always made it feel like he was on the way out once we got to cut down day. But hey, let's get to some damn positive news instead of all this. You're always being so negative, Bobby. The Giants signed safety K'Von Wallace. I like this signing. And I actually brought him up in the safety position as a whole in a June mailbag question about possible late free agent additions. The safety position always felt like something that you could bring somebody in for a couple of reasons. One, there was a ton of players available, and it seems to happen every single year with the safety spot where players just last in the camp. And we can't even talk about guys coming off of all pro seasons. They're just available in camp. When we did this June mailbag question, these were the guys that were available: Justin Simmons, Marcus Williams, Quandre Diggs, Jordan Whitehead, Chuck Clark, Jordan Poyer, K'Von Wallace, Marcus May, John Johnson, Von Bell. Those are all guys outside of K'Von Wallace who have been really good starters at some point in their career. And all those guys were available in June. The other is the Giants didn't really have anyone slated at that fourth safety slot. And the guy who was, got released with a failed physical designation. And I actually think they could upgrade from Dane Belton in that third safety spot. I do think K'Von can compete to be the third safety on the Giants, even though the Giants will likely give the nod to Dane Belton when all's said and done. But Wallace is athletic. He's physical. I think he plays aggressive. He started 7 games for Shane Bowen in 2023 with the Titans, where he played mostly deep, although I would like to see him give us some more action in the box. He's played deep most of his career, but I was a fan of his coming out of Clemson, and it felt like he made real deal plays down there towards the line of scrimmage. I just felt like that's where his playmaking ability showed up. It hasn't shown up in the NFL, but I just felt like that's where it showed up the most at Clemson. But hey, he's got 19 career starts. Just hasn't panned out the way that I thought or hoped. I guess I didn't hope once he got drafted by the Eagles in the 4th round. He'll be 28 on Friday. He has 168 tackles, 17 pass breakups, and 1 interception in his career, or 7 pass breakups. He's played a ton of special teams. And so at worst, what you get is a special teams contributor and a fourth safety who has NFL experience. So I like the signing regardless. The corresponding move is they waived safety Anthony Johnson Jr., who they claimed last year off of waivers on cutdown day from the Packers. You remember last year cutdown day? The Giants are going to make so many additions at corner. And it was just, they made one claim, and it was safety Anthony Johnson Jr. He never got any run. He only played 21 defensive snaps for them last year. He was waived with a lot of times he was a healthy scratch. He was waived with the failed physical designation, so assumedly just wasn't healthy enough for camp or whatever, and they decided to go with Wallace, who, they worked out today. They also had, brought him into minicamp on a workout. So that ends up being that with Anthony Johnson Jr. So Andrew Thomas, PUP List. Need him back. Eric Gray, not really stressing about that one, but I will enjoy the tweet to see when he got off next year at this time. Dimukeji to the NFI list. Signed K'Von Wallace, waive Anthony Johnson Jr. Like and subscribe. I'm just going to sit here and stop. We're the number one place for Giants content. I truly believe that. We're going to be recapping every Giants training camp practice with myself and NJ.com beat reporter covering the Giants, Ryan Novozinski. We're going to be doing that on site, so those are going to get out fairly quickly. We're going to have full episodes, talking about training camp, the dynamics, interviewing other important people, or not even important people, but other, people around the team. Going to be doing some bonus content, film reviews, preseason reactions. We are the number one place for Giants content. I believe it. So like and subscribe. Tell a friend. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you on the next one. Come say hello at training camp. Until then, let's go. I'm so excited for training camp. I'm gonna go next 10 seconds on this video. I'm so excited for training camp. This Airbnb is just filled with our wheel spinner, gifts, t-shirts, hats that we're going to give away, stickers. Um, I'm just really excited for it. So if you're out there, come say hello. We got a new sponsorship with Candlewick Body Armor's bringing it all for you. SeatGeek is a part. So it's just all things are coming up, Giants Nation, and it's all because of you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, let's go Big Blue.